This next section is about the time when she's thinking of um, finding a therapist for herself because of the difficult situation she finds herself in. And she speaks about how right now it's all about one foot, then the other. And this is in the context of how do you get from where you are, particularly if you find yourself in a very difficult space, to some place where you might be a happy place. It's very hard to imagine the happy place when you are in that difficult space. So she speaks of how you take one foot, then the other. And she says that's one thing I tell patients who are in the midst of crippling depression, the kind that makes them think, there's the bathroom, it's about 5 feet away, I see it, but I can't get there. One foot, then the other. Don't look at all 5 feet at once. Just take a step. And when you have taken that step, take one more. Eventually, you'll make it to the Shah. And you'll make it to tomorrow and next year too. One step. Doing something prompts you to do something else, replacing a vicious cycle with a virtuous one. Most big transformations come about from the hundreds of tiny, almost imperceptible steps we take along the way. And I found this to be true in my own experience. When I emerged from my rather difficult phase that I found myself to be in, what I call the dark days of my life, I found that taking that first step was the hard one. Hard in the sense that you didn't know what that step was and in which direction to take it. And it seemed quite futile to take any step at all. And so if somehow if we find ourselves in a really difficult place, and we can remember, if we can remember this at a time when we are not, then maybe we can remember it at a time when we do find ourselves in a difficult place, that can we take that first step? It really doesn't matter which direction, but take that first step. So for me, that first step was really exercise. I started doing exercise at home, and I made it a routine. Initially, it was hard to sustain it. I would do 3 days in a row with great enthusiasm, and then it'll fail, and then I wouldn't do for a few days. Then I would pick it up again, and then again it would stop. So this process of start stop, and I'm sure all of you have experienced this with, maybe if not with exercise, with some other thing that you've tried to start in your life, but I've found it hard to sustain. So for me, exercise was my first real step towards taking care of myself. I didn't think of it that way. I really just thought of something as a way to just get out of the really difficult space that I found myself to be in. And the beauty of exercise, it just so happened that I chose a wonderful first step, because the beauty of exercise is it releases all these wonderful chemicals in your body, and you actually end up feeling good, and without having to work at feeling good. So it has this really nice side effect of lifting you from a depression, as it were. And so if that's your first step that you can take, do that. Find exercise, go for a walk, find a dance class perhaps that you could go to. Or if that seems too much of a huge step to take, start small with something that takes you out of that funk that you find yourself in. And it's really just that first step. And when you do that first step, take the next step. And don't ask how many steps have I taken and how much more do I have to go, and it's all feeling very weary and difficult, which is what one tends to do. So congratulate yourself for taking that first step. Tell yourself well done. And that might seem a little artificial initially, but really just tell yourself, hey, I took my first step today and I'm glad I did. You don't have to make a dance and show out of having taken a first step, but you can just silently acknowledge to yourself that you did something, and then you do it again, then you do it again. And it's remarkable how cumulative the impact can be. So allow for cumulative impact to come into your life. Allow for change that can happen simply because a series of small steps have been put together. I wish that for you.